as I can. It's pen you while the black pen. There's a 4-year-old video clip that is trending from Morning Live, which is a show on SABC2 in South Africa. And the video is of an argument, I think it's an argument debate between the presenter Leeanne Manas and Rutendo Matinyarare. And it has been trending on social media for the past day or two. And a lot of people have tagged me and asked for my opinion, in particular because I have sat with Rutendo Matinyarare many times on the Panel Show, my platform on YouTube, and also on Dope Conversations, speaking about issues of Zimbabwe, speaking of South African politics, speaking about African history. I hosted quite a popular now debate between Rutendo Matinyarare and advocate Ike Khumalo of South Africa to debate the issue of foreigners and illegal foreigners in South Africa. I think that video has done over 350,000 views, which is quite dope for YouTube. Okay, summary, if possible. Leeanne Manas is asking Rutendo, why is he not moving back to Zimbabwe if he claims that Zimbabwe is so alive with opportunity, such a brilliant country, and maybe compared to South Africa? Why is he not going back home when so many Zimbabweans are in South Africa as waiters, as car guards, as Uber drivers, etc.? And in that debate, Rutendo asks her, why don't you go back home to Europe? Why did your ancestors come here? And Leeanne is saying, this is not about me. The context is you saying that Zimbabwe has got a lot of opportunity. So why are you here, not going back there? Rutendo says, look, I have children here, so I can't just up and leave. And also I was invited here to South Africa because I have a scarce skill. And many people have been on Twitter, from what I've seen, have been standing in solidarity with Leeanne Manas, saying they support her because she is South African. Rutendo must go back home to Zimbabwe. Some people have said Rutendo is an African, Leeanne Manas is not. It is funny seeing black people defending a European and not an African because of colonial borders. I think that's a summary from what I gather. And now these are my thoughts. I will not speak for Rutendo because I'm not his spokesperson. Rutendo has got platforms. He speaks for himself very well, if I may add. I will not touch on the accusations of pedophilia that some people keep tagging, which are from the past. I think he can defend that on his own. I do not know his personal life like that, unfortunately. People have tagged some of the stuff from the Panel Show, and in particular where he's speaking about Black South Africans voting for the ANC. And yet there are tweets of his from 2014 where he is saying that he will vote for the DA. Just because they are a white party doesn't mean they do not deliver. And the flip-flopping and the hypocrisy in that regard. I will not necessarily speak much about his political affiliations, where he votes, and. Then there have been talks about the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, who claims that he will be investigating. I don't know if this is true, if this is a fake account. He will be investigating Rutendo Matinyarare, who it's been said that he has a South African ID, and at the same time it says that he's been naturalized as a citizen in South Africa. And people want to know, is this guy really South African? Did he buy an ID? Does he have a Zimbabwean ID, etc., etc.? Herman Mashaba, the leader of Action SA, has been one of the people to say Rutendo Matinyarare must be investigated. Why is he here? Why is he speaking on South African politics, etc., etc.? I'll speak about that. I will try and focus on the merits of that short clip and the debate. Rutendo Matinyarare, from what I know, is a Zimbabwean, born in Zimbabwe, I think raised in Zimbabwe, moved to South Africa for work, I believe, and has found a home here, and I think he is thriving here. He has gained prominence in the last couple of years, I think also thanks to my platform, The Panel Show, speaking about the wars in Rwanda, speaking about Zimbabwe, speaking about the Al Jazeera documentary on the gold mafia in Zimbabwe, speaking about South African politics, the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, Jacob Zuma, Black economic empowerment, speaking about Zimbabwean, the economy, and other such matters. He's become a voice. He speaks very proudly of Zimbabwe. He's a patriotic Zimbabwean. He's spoken about sanctions in Zimbabwe, which he believes they've managed to remove from the United States. He claims that he is not a ZANU-PF spokesperson and mouthpiece, which a lot of people accuse him of, because he doesn't call out ZANU-PF in the same vein as people like Hopewell Chinono has done and Nelson Chamisa has done. I have invited Hopewell Chinono onto the panel show and other platforms. We just haven't found scheduling, I think, from his side to sit down and chat. So because of this, a lot of South Africans, black South Africans, take offense. Number one, they keep attacking me. Why do you let Zimbabweans have opinions on South African politics? Why do you let this guy come and speak arrogantly down on South Africans, calling us lazy, not taking up opportunities, and. And at the last sit down on the panel show, I did call out Rutendo and say, but you want black South Africans to be understanding of the situation in Zim. You want us to be understanding of your opinion on South African politics, but you have this arrogance and this condescension, which is why people push back. You're not trying to be understanding of why people are speaking about the borders and illegal foreigners, and you're telling us about how Zimbabwe fought for South Africa during apartheid, but black South Africans are saying, listen to us now, and you are refusing and you're forcing them to listen to your reason with arrogance. And that is not nice. So we ended up having a debate on that platform. So he rubs people up the wrong way. That's Rutendo. Then you've got Leeanne Manas, one of our most celebrated journalists in South Africa, went to my alma mater, Rhodes University, studied journalism there. She has been one of our favorite features on Morning Live. She used to present with Uvuyo Mbuli, who passed away, Mr. Shap. Today she presents with Sakina Kamwendo. She did present at some point with Ayanda Ali, who I had on the panel show. The episode dropped yesterday morning. Ayanda Ali's moved on to politics. She is now at Musi Maimani and Nobuntu Hlazo Webster at Build One South Africa Bosa. That's Leeanne Manas. Leeanne Manas, as far as I know, born and raised in Johannesburg, South African by all means. She is of Lebanese heritage. Lebanon is not in Europe, it is in the Middle East. So she's not European, as people are accusing. She's from the Middle East. I think they have Arab-French mix, the Lebanese. It's near Israel, near Syria as well. I am not sure about her parents, but I think they may be from Lebanon. If not them, then her grandparents. So they came here to South Africa. We do not know, I do not know the merits of how her forefathers came here. Did they come here legally? Did they have passports? Were they naturalized? Did they have permits? But we know Leeanne Manas was born and raised here. She speaks very fondly of South Africa. She's a patriotic South African. She supports the Springboks. She counts Nelson Mandela as one of her heroes. She is South African as far as all of us know, but she is of Lebanese heritage, and she went on to marry a man of Greek heritage. Moms. Sorry, I'm on the video. We are in dinner. Mom's on dinner. Njengamanje ngiyarecord, I'm on the video.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Life with the old lady. So she is, and her husband, sorry, is of Greek heritage. I don't know whether he was born in Greece or if his family's from Greece and how they came to be here. So part of the irony of the debate is you've got two people on a South African platform live. The one born and raised in Zimbabwe, the other one born and raised in South Africa, but parents or grandparents from Lebanon, debating this issue of South Africa, this piece of land. You've got South Africans weighing in on both sides. Black people, Africans, some of them are very pro-black, and they say, maybe people like the EFF, Africa for all, this is our country, you cannot be a foreigner in Africa. It is all these other people, the Arabs, the Europeans, the Americans, etc., the Chinese, who are not from here. And now they're coming to debate issues of South Africa. I'd like to think Leeanne Manas' family came here for economic opportunity and a better life. I'd like to think Rutendo Matinyarare is in South Africa for economic opportunities and a better life. So they are almost here for arguably the same reasons. Leeanne happens to be a descendant of migrants. Rutendo happens to be the first migrant. So he's almost the equivalent of Leanne's parents or grandparents, as an example. Now, who is right and who is wrong? And I did comment on one of the videos that I was tagged on Twitter, and I said, I believe both of them are right. And some people attacked me and some people agreed with me. My point was this: South Africans have not yet sat down and fundamentally had a CODESA 2.0, which is something I'm really pushing for, to discuss colonial borders. We do not create these borders around Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and the rest of the African continent. This was Britain, France, King Leopold's from Belgium, which is the DRC. I'm not sure if the Italians were involved, the Germans, the Portuguese. We did not create these as African people. But we are here now and we've by and large bought into them. And if we would like to change them, as the EFF, maybe Muammar Gaddafi and other people would wish for, we need to sit down as people and decide we want to remove borders. Where do we want to remove them? Around our neighbors, around SADC, around ECOWAS, around the West. We must decide. It is not necessarily for individuals like Rutendo Matinyarare, for politicians who are not in power to speak on our behalf, to come and want to dictate and tell us these are colonial borders, they must be removed. Number one. Number two, human beings generally have natural borders. It could be the fence around your house. It could be a gated community where you live in your neighborhood. You could live in an estate with the security, etc., etc. We have natural borders, and even pre-colonial, you wouldn't just get onto someone's land. There would be people that would stop you, that would ask, why are you here? You're trespassing, etc., etc. So we need to have those discussions. Zimbabwe is our neighbor. Lebanon is quite far up. Zimbabwe's got issues, of course. We know this. Rutendo can speak till he's purple in the face about opportunity, but Zimbabweans are constantly coming into South Africa in droves for a better life. In the same vein, and I've been attacked for this and it's okay, in the same vein that people move from KZN, Free State, the Eastern Cape, and go to Gauteng, go to the Western Cape and Cape Town, go to Durban, maybe go to the mines in Mpumalanga, maybe go to some of the farms in Limpopo, maybe go to the mines in the Northwest. People move for better economic opportunities. It's the same way people would move their cattle for better grazing lands if there's drought or if the land is not fertile. It's a nature thing. Even animals move. But now we've got these borders and it becomes an issue. And the reality is we've currently got laws that we've bought into. And these laws say this: if you are from another country and you want to go to another country, you need to get permission. And that permission starts off with you getting a passport, which means you are verified by your country to be a legal citizen. And then the other country will know where you come from. And then number two is to get something of a visa. Some of these other countries, the visa you get at the border gate, it's a simple process. Others you need to apply for, you need to pay money. Sometimes you need to go for interviews. They need to vet, check if you've got a criminal record, etc., etc. But this is how you get into a country. If you want to be based in that country for longer than a normal tourist, you need to either get a study permit because you're coming to study there and you've been allowed, or you're getting a work permit because there's a company that wants to hire you, or you're coming for business and you maybe have a business license, whatever the case may be, but it is logged. This is the world we live in today. If you are not doing that, you are illegally in a country which is committing a crime. Every person in South Africa that is not from here, that did not tick these boxes I mentioned, is here illegally. This includes most of the spaza shop owners. This includes a lot of the foreign car guards, a lot of the foreign Uber drivers, a lot of foreign people that run businesses here. It could be from Malawi, Mozambique, Nigeria, Pakistan, Bangladesh. It could be from the United States of America. It could be from Europe. It could be from the Middle East. It could be from Somalia, Ethiopia. It could be from Zimbabwe, Lesotho. You are here illegally. Now we've got a problem as a country from our political parties, in particular the ANC as the governing party. Our borders have been destroyed and in some places are non-existent, especially around parts of Lesotho, from Zimbabwe, flowing into places like Musina and Limpopo. I'm not sure about places like Botswana. I'm sure maybe places like Eswatini. We have border gates, but some people don't go through the border gates. They cross rivers or they just walk across, and they are here illegally. And if you find them, it is a crime. They are meant to be arrested and they are meant to be deported to where they come from. The problem, of course, is even if you deport them, because we haven't fixed our borders, they can easily come back and the problem just keeps going back. And the ANC government has failed to fix this, either because they're incompetent and useless, or there's corruption and the money is not being used, or intentionally so. The corruption includes the border gates as well, where people at Home Affairs, even here within the country, people at Home Affairs sell IDs, they sell documents that they shouldn't be doing. That is corruption working with South Africans. But it could be that not just the ANC, but many wealthy people, they prefer illegal people here because they then become the slave working class for South Africans. Because apartheid is gone, because now we have labor laws, you can't just hire a black South African for any price you want. But you can hire an illegal person from Malawi, Mozambique, Lesotho for whatever money you want, because they can't go and complain anyway. They are here illegally anyways. The people that buy from spaza shops that are owned by Pakistanis, Ethiopians, Somalians, the people that hire Mozambicans or people from Lesotho to build their houses or build their back rooms, the Zimbabwean ladies that do your hair, the Ghanaian men who cut your hair, they can price at cheap prices and we can exploit them because of that. It serves a lot of the wealthy people who have waiters, who have gardeners, who have maids, who have nannies, who have other employees where you don't need to pay for UIF. You don't need to pay for medical aid. You don't need to follow labor laws, and you can exploit their labor and make them work beyond 40 hours a week. So that becomes the issue that we have, along with other things like smuggling of minerals, gold, etc., smuggling of cigarettes, smuggling of drugs. It suits certain wealthy people here. So that's the issue that we have, and a lot of the police also turn a blind eye. Some get bribed, some get threatened to be killed because of certain illegal people that are here. Now, maybe after giving that picture, Rutendo is disingenuous about the issues in Zimbabwe. I appreciate that he's trying very well to speak fondly of Zimbabwe, to try and paint a better picture so that people want to visit, so that investors want to invest. There is so much crime and murder and filth and poverty in the United States of America. But America goes over and above and beyond to paint this beautiful picture of the American dream. They show you the most beautiful parts of America, Miami Beach, parts of New York and Wall Street, part of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, and all these places. It looks beautiful. Everyone wants to go to America. There is rampant poverty in parts of America. There is struggle. There is racism. There are so many homeless people. They have an immigrant problem like us with the Mexicans. Trump used to speak about building a wall. Right now, there's an issue with Joe Biden. Elon Musk speaks about it all the time, where apparently Joe Biden and these guys are allowing foreigners to come in illegally, naturalizing them so that they can vote for them to stay in power. These are issues that they have in America, but they try to hide those so well to make them look good. Those are lies. Now, a country like South Africa is stunning. We've got a beautiful coastline, we've got beautiful mountains, beautiful rivers, we've got the Big Five, etc. But a lot of the media stuff that goes out into the world is our high crime rates, load shedding. Now we've got water issues, etc. But we are a beautiful country, but we undersell ourselves to the world. It is more of an honest reflection, but we don't speak so well of ourselves even when we travel. We complain about the ANC and corruption and all those things. Now, what Rutendo is doing is he's trying to copy an America or a Europe to try and be like, Zimbabwe is a land of opportunity. If you want to go and mine there, you can get a license quicker. We believe in artisanal mining, which you can't get in South Africa. We've got beautiful lands. You get all these beautiful things, which are lies like America because they have struggle there. If they didn't have struggle, of course, Zimbabweans wouldn't be here. And for the longest time, he said the issue was just the sanctions. Fine. The problem is that we sanctioned and we can't trade with the rest of the world, which is also slightly disingenuous. But I allow people on my platforms to come and speak. And then I go on my own and I give my, or I give like a small debate or a question and answer. But it's not for me on my platforms to go hard and argue with people. You're lying, get out of it. It's hostile. That is not my style. I allow anyone, it could be the guys in Orania, it could be an ANC representative, it could be anyone to come on the platform and come and say their piece. I may push back a little bit, but with respect, and still allow the person to get everything out. And then it's in the comments that people can come in, attack, and say this guy's lying, or whatever the case may be. That's where you guys can go in. And then on my own, I can come here and give my honest opinion without making a guest feel hostile in that space. That's Rutendo. Leeanne Manas was doing her job as a South African journalist, and she was right to ask the questions she asked. But it was also right for Rutendo to ask the questions he asked. And he was using Leeanne as a representative. Unfortunately, she's not from Europe, but as a representative of what we call white people in South Africa. White people in South Africa didn't come here through invitation, and they didn't settle here through invitation, and they didn't colonize South Africans through invitation, and they didn't create apartheid and force colonial systems and shoved black people off land and exploit their labor and demonize their cultural identity and demonize their languages. They were not invited. They forced themselves here. In effect, retrospectively, Europeans, the Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, etc., they were the first illegal immigrants here. If we speak about illegal African immigrants, which come after the colonial borders, which we didn't buy into, those Europeans are the illegal immigrants, the original Baba. Some people could then argue that the Bantu or the Nguni people that came from the lakes, the Great Lakes, also were the first illegal immigrants because the Khoi and the San owned the land here. But that becomes a debate, depending on people are going to say, yeah, but that's white history. That's not true, but we settled peacefully, whatever the case may be. We weren't going around killing the Khoi and San, enslaving them, making them work in our mines, etc., etc. But there have been many wars fought over land, even before colonizers and white people came here. But white people come here, and because they've lived here for so long and generations, they feel like this is their home. It's fine. But they then have the audacity to want to tell black South Africans that they must chase away other black Africans here when they themselves and their ancestors didn't come here by invitation and came here in a hostile way. They'll tell us about Nigerian drug lords. They'll tell us about Zimbabweans committing crimes, cash and transit heists. But those white people won't speak to you about the atrocities of their ancestors, the British, the Dutch, the German, the French, the Portuguese. All of a sudden, so, oh, but that's in the past. Let's focus on the now. It's like, but you shouldn't be here, bro. But you have the audacity to tell me, to tell my black brothers and sisters, they shouldn't be here because your ancestors built a wall between us so that we can't be together. This is part of why I was like, look, they both right. But again, the irony of someone of Lebanese descent speaking to a Zimbabwean national about South African land and South African issues, you know, the irony wasn't lost on me. Now, black South Africans in particular, and we can include coloreds, to some degree Indians, the coloreds because they have a black African aspect. The Indians will include because, I mean, this is also their home and they fall under black, but essentially they have like a home base. Black South Africans, the Zulus, Maxhosa, Maswati, Amandebele, Sutus, the Tswanas, the Pedis, the Tsongas, the Vendas, don't know if I'm forgetting anyone else. They really need to take a step back and be like, who's actually speaking on our behalf? It cannot be that you've just got a Rutendo speaking on behalf of South African politics, or you've even got a Leeanne Manas speaking on behalf of South African politics, or a John Steenhuisen. When a black South African is going to speak for themselves and say, no, we hear what you guys are saying, but at the end of the day, we'd also like to come in. Leeanne, your family comes here from Lebanon, and we love you. You're South African. You're one of our people, and please carry on with the beautiful work you're doing at Morning Live. But as black South Africans, we need you to also make sure that you highlight this issue of colonialism and apartheid that has really, really oppressed and destroyed black South Africans. We need you, Leeanne, as a South African, to also hold that. Rutendo Matinyarare, you're here as our brother. Don't come here and be arrogant. Don't come here and be arrogant when where you come from at home, things are not good, but you have the audacity to come into my house and say the dishes are not washed, but your home went down. Don't be arrogant. Otherwise, you must go back to where you came from. If you come here, you come with respect and you listen to us. And if you have an opinion, which you think is important, could be that you think South Africans are lazy, they lack an entrepreneurial spirit, you do it with respect. From what I've seen, you guys lack skills. From what I've seen, you guys are too friendly with the white people. From what I'm seeing, you guys are not seeing the issues of borders where we should be trading with each other as Africans, and speak to us with respect. Don't come with your arrogance. But black South Africans with the coloreds and some of the Indians must say this. And black South Africans seem to not have strong leaders. Maybe a Jacob Zuma for the longest time, black South Africans loved him very well. Cyril Ramaphosa looks like he's a puppet of white capital and Western capital. Julius Malema, who was an amazing voice for black South Africans, now is just speaking Pan-Africanism. When black South Africans are saying, hey, Baba, we're not ready. We're not ready to bring all the neighbors here. Can we please sort out our affairs first? We still need to deal with the land and the economy. And when you're saying, no, one Africa, no, we're not ready, bro. Put us first, please. And white South Africans must be called and say, listen, guys, we're here now. We've negotiated with CODESA, etc. But you guys must also stop being arrogant. And you guys must stop telling us apartheid was a long time ago. That's bullshit. Because we're still living in the legacy of apartheid. We've got family members being born into shacks because of apartheid. You are being born into a mansion because of apartheid and colonialism. But you have the audacity to tell me to let it go. Go fuck yourself. That's when black South Africans are like, fuck off back to Europe. Go fucking build whatever you want. Because it's gaslighting. And white South Africans need to understand this is where we are. We need to work together. And if you don't want to work together, then you shouldn't be here. Because you were not meant to be here in the first place. Your ancestors came here. We appreciate that they were strong. They conquered the locals. The locals at some point got organized and they fought back. And then our ancestors and your ancestors decided to sit down and negotiate. And this is where we are now. And if white people feel like they're not happy with that negotiation, then maybe we need to reopen it and say, clearly you guys refuse to live peacefully with us. Let's go back and fight. Doesn't have to be physically. Let's go back to the negotiating table, CODESA 2.0, and actually speak. What do you guys want? You want an independent Cape? No, you will not have that. You want to build your own Oranias? You will not have that because we don't want you to have that. We will not agree to that negotiation. Do you want to buy private land and build an estate, a private estate, and have a right to choose who gets to live there? Maybe we can see that. Maybe, because there are states like that. But we must agree because we're planning to live here together. And if we cannot live here together, then something has to happen and it may lead to conflict. But we need to sit down and have this conversation and find each other. Because right now it feels like Nelson Mandela sold black people out along with the ANC. And it feels like F.W. de Klerk and the National Party, etc., it feels like they also frustrated white people because white people also like, hey, fuck, we don't agree, bro. And we're living here with a Nelson and a F.W. de Klerk who won a Nobel Peace Prize and shook hands, and a Cyril Ramaphosa and a Rolf Meyer who shook hands. But the people they claim to be representing are like, we don't agree to this. We actually didn't agree. And you can see it now because we still have racial tension and we're not happy. So we need a CODESA 2.0 to speak about these issues. Because clearly they are a problem. I said I was going to keep it short. I think this was a bit long. Those are my thoughts on the clip, 4-year-old clip between Leeanne Manas, who I love and admire very much, and Rutendo Matinyarare, who I respect very much as well as my brother. My little issues with them as well, but a lot of kudos for some of the things that they bring up as well. But also very much a call to action, in particular to black South Africans, with the help of coloreds, Indians, and white South Africans to say, guys, we need to have a sit down. 1990, long time ago. We're in 2024 now. 1994, 30 years ago. We're in 2024 now and we're here. And if there are certain things we're not happy with, let's come together and let's sit. And let's speak about the things we're not happy with. The land, the economy, labor, history, etc. Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. And maybe 30 years later, our kids will come and say, no, but CODESA 2.0 was rubbish. We want to sit down and then we must sit back and humble ourselves and say, we did what we thought was best at the time, just as Nelson and the guys did. We're here now. After we do our thing and we agree, you guys in future can do your thing and we'll humble ourselves and we'll let you guys do your thing. Because we cannot be imprisoned by decisions that were made in 1990, 1994. We cannot. We can challenge them. And I demand that we challenge them. Create a better South Africa for everyone. And then we decide on the borders. And we decide how we want to have relations with other African countries and other Asian, American, European countries. We decide. We set the tone and we stop having political leaders that are puppets of other people that are not us. And we have business leaders who actually are about milking this country and sending money abroad. And we have traditional leaders who are weak and have no teeth. And we have religious leaders who are all about making money and so-called spiritual healing and a heaven after we die, and they're not rooted in the present. That stuff needs to stop. We need to have a sit down and have a very, very important conversation around this. I'm going to try and go through your comments very, very quickly and shut down this live, because these comments don't hold after I shut down my live. Coco Africa, I see you. That other dude, I see you. Podcast Yase Janini, I see you. Mbali Goodness, I see you. Ndu Jams, I see you. Enigma, hey Pen, can you do lives in the evenings, perhaps set times? My first time catching a live because I'm on leave. I'll look into that. Ndu Jams, where does this one Africa mindset come from? Cairo, are prisoners allowed to vote? I believe the answer is yes. In fact, Apilani, all countries are in competition, man. So they are foreigners, even if we have the same color skin. Tibani Shongwane, borders bring order. Borders bring order. Borders bring order. Borders bring order. Border. Hectic. Monde Ntsoko. My sentiments has always been they were both wrong. It's like divorced parents fighting over their kids. Us black citizens are almost like the kids. But they, at the end of the day, recognize your kingdomship. Jack O'Mari, I think the borders must be redrawn, not removed. The notion that Africa must be one isn't Pan-Africanism. It's foolishness. New Gems with the big English. It's asinine. Rufus Mafa, they are useless, in brackets, the ANC. Dingiswaya, right now I want to go to Lesotho now. I need a passport, question mark. Ngicela imvume yokuhamba egcekeni, question mark. Lama border, ayabheda kokunye. Rufus Mafa, even Malema has changed tune now. Listen to him 10 years back and now. A vlog by Bernice, I see you. Political Universe. Your correct pen, sorry. South Africa, we show more than we should, and it's the job of everyone to show our country in the good light. LP, I have much respect for you to allow people to give their opinion. 0,00Z or Hertz, I think. I see you. Do Jams, true. I will always tell people there were wars in Africa long before colonialists. Player Lee also says borders bring orders, bro. Giorapetse, Libalo. Other than race card and colonialism, what binds us black South Africans to, say, for instance, West Africans, question mark, cultural, question mark. Ruth Longridge. Oh, Penel, my darling. I embrace the need to address both your and my ancestry. Go far back enough and we are all makwerekwere. It's a derogatory term for foreigners. Carl Dojo, what the fuck? This coming from Penel. 0 Hertz, we share a rock floating in space. I feel South Africans should think about these issues from an astrological viewpoint. Soli Nkhalabi Mangha, I see you. Masakane D. Jobotwana. Migration is very different from colonization, though. These people must quit the opportunistic convo. Machamela, welcome, Welcome. Penal, where is load shedding? Laughing emoji. 0,00 Hertz, I think. The world is small, but our universe is so vast. But we know the devil is in the details, and our issues are like a butterfly effect because of the past. Music Doc 20, I see you. 420 Frosty, I see you. Sam Lakimnisi, Codesa 2.0. Nkabi _ZA. I like that Pen is giving a balanced view of things, not necessarily pandering to one side. Future 50, I see you. 420 Frosty says, yeah, nah, all I'm going to say is that Boers were the problem, not the English. Wow. 0,00 Hertz, it's becoming a class issue. Him, Pen, I believe in what you're saying, but you must be hypocritical most of the time to push an agenda. I will always push my agenda. Please don't ever confuse me with objective journalists. I have my own agendas. I always express my agendas. But in this instance, I was specifically trying to speak about that clip from both sides. And then, as I said, I was trying to make a call to action for South Africans, in particular black South Africans. That becomes my agenda. I don't need the most balanced person out there. I'm not paid by you guys to be the most balanced person out there. So whatever balanced opinion you want from me, shame. I'm sorry. Music 20, I've been saying this for years. Let's renegotiate. Ruth Longridge, let's be the change we want to see. Nkabi _ZA, add him, everyone is pushing an agenda, that's correct. Tibo Khomukoto, yes. Tsulu, Muahi, Repenol Mahua Atella. Singamadoda ukuthi asukume nathi abomama ukuthi sibalekelele spiritually ukuthi nibe namandla ukuthi nisivikele kuwo wonke lo msangano. I go fucking crazy. entitlement. Domenico Gualtieri. It's not black and white anymore. It's poor and rich. Someone spoke about class earlier. Veronica Costel, with 30% pass rate for matric for the last 15 years, we have young people who are unemployable. Beautiful, crazy dude. I think you're 100% right. We need to go back to the drawing board. The people who should lead this discussion must be our First Nation people, the San and Khoisan. They are not represented. Ruth Longridge, All Lives Matter, South Africa TV. All Lives Matter, South Africans, support the good work that you're doing, Mr. Penwell. Mintlo Dlamini, hashtag Lisibalkulu, Borders Bring Order. Sipo Kumalo, I see you. Everything Kind by Pissy Poppy, much respect to your thoughts, Pen. Ngaba Nkosinkulu, I see you. Mr. A, Mr. Penwell, what's your thoughts on the youth taking over? Business Connects SA would love to sit down with you, Pen. You've got some interesting views which could be debated, but shout out to the work you're doing. Thank you. Dibo Khomokoto, powerful, Mr. Penwell. I support you fully. You forgot the Sun and the Khoisan. Someone also raised that earlier. Nkoskhona Caesar, RSA youth / blacks, major problem is management. Tsulu Moagi, Realiboga Ragobana. All I can tell you, Uti, real aligned women gravitate to power. We'll decode another day. Reagorata, Tota. Oh, I'm trying to learn. My apologies, Tsulu, but I'm trying. Reagorata, Tota. There is still huge available land in South Africa. We're just playing Malema, telling there is no land in South Africa. Alan Sibanze, man of many talents, love the interview with Miss Ali yesterday. You are really pushing the envelope. Bring on Floyd Shibambu, please. Lol. Make it happen. Hilda Nyembe, I see you. That other dude, I love how you engage with our comments. Shout out to that. We black South Africans are complicit in our own problems. The solution is self-introspection. And the solutions to our problems are so simple. We need a collective black consciousness. Gogo Africa, what was South Africa before South Africa was South Africa? Tyron Mteto, what are your views on the Bella Bill, I think? Yeah. Guys, have a great and blessed day. I'll catch up with you guys again soon. Let's keep pushing to create a better South Africa for everyone, a better Africa for everyone. And let's try and add value to make this world something really, really special. We're here now. We're in power now. Can't speak about people that have passed on in the past. We can learn from them. We can try and do our bit, and then we can hand over to the future for them to criticize us and to try and improve as well. Penuel Diswarpen, Penuel Usiba Olunsundu, Penuel Pene Ensu, Penelimnyam. Love you guys. Cheers.